This is one of the most sacred places in Christianity, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, built around the site where Jesus is said to have been crucified, buried, and resurrected. The church dates back to the 4th century. Here, tradition is everything. While times changed drastically in the world outside, the church rarely did. Traditionally, it was exempt from paying local taxes and other charges, including its water bill. So when payment was demanded for a bill backdated for 15 years of past charges, back to when a private company took over management of the water supply, church officials balked. The total, 9 million shekels, about $2.3 million.
The Church of the Holy Sepulchre had the privilege since the Ottoman Empire not to pay.
It was not the first time the church had been warned. Times have changed, and it must change with them. Israel's foreign ministry spokesman told CNN the status quo dates back to times when there was no running water to be paid for anyway. Today, things have changed, and people need to pay their bills. They may not pay municipal tax, they may not pay income tax, because that is the status quo, but they have to pay for goods and commodities. There is no other church or synagogue or mosque in Israel that is exempted from paying water bills. At one point in the impasse, the Greek Orthodox Patriarch's bank account was frozen, so it could not pay for teachers, staff, or the church's upkeep.
We found ourselves in a very difficult situation, practically. But we saw also that this privilege of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was not recognized, and this way the sanctity and the significance and the history of this church, which receives every day thousands of pilgrims, was insulted. And we felt very sorry for this, and we had no other choice. We had to protest.
The 3 patriarchs who share this church threatened to close its doors in protest. With an estimated 1 million pilgrims and tourists who come to see this church every year, and the dozens of shops that rely on them, the threat reverberated through the old city. Business owner Nicholas Shbeta was worried.
If it wasn't here, nobody will come, because it will be like old city and people roaming about, just seeing walls, and roads and that thing. But this place is very important, is more important than the Vatican even, because it's number 1 for the Christian church. The Catholic, the Orthodox, all different sections.
His is the first shop at the top of the stairs that leads to the Holy Sepulchre. Pilgrims are his main and often his only customers. But eventually, church officials say the Israeli government intervened to break the stalemate. The church and the private company struck a compromise. The church would pay its water bills from now on, but not the 9 million shekels for the backdated bill. A compromise that seems sensible to this visitor.
The churches, like all of them, aren't sort of poor institutions, are they? So I think we ought to expect them to pay their bills, although it's a bit harsh to date them back to 1967. Maybe that's going a bit far.
The agreement all came together a couple of months before Christmas and long before Easter, leaving the church open so the faithful and the curious can continue to flock to the holy site, where many believe one of the most miraculous of miracles once occurred. Sarah Seidner, CNN, Jerusalem.